Have you had to like negotiate or like talk to your insurance company? Like, have you had discussions where you've had to like fight for things to be covered?
Land of the free, home of the brave. What else is it? It's God
Yeah,
bless
the carceral
America.
state.
Right.
Mhm.
We're the melting pot. Everything is better in America. Everything. Every time I leave this place, I'm like reminded, and especially with me being Haitian, like I'm just reminded that even with countries where people are suffering and stuff, like it's just they find it's not like this. This they want America to seem like it's so great. And a lot of people out of the country. My brother came here in 2012 from Haiti, and he had this big like idea and dreams, and he was like, "It's so much suffering here." That man packed up and went back to Haiti.
For real?
Wow.
Yeah, because people really want to come here. People are fighting.
Mhm.
I had a cousin under the bridge in September, 2 years ago, who I was going to pick up, and he was taken back to Haiti before I can get to him. But he had dreams and stuff like that. My brother, who got an opportunity to come here later on in his life, but in like 2012, and he was just like, "It's just so much suffering. All y'all do is just work. None of y'all have time to spend with your kids. It's hard for us to get any like political, like to be able to vote or to do this or to do that. It's just so difficult. Healthcare, how can I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get access to healthcare. That's a whole thing. I have to go through a whole process. And then he didn't understand, because of course where he comes from is predominantly black. He didn't understand that he can't do things because he's black. Like there's certain things that he can't do because of that. America is a joke. I wish it was exactly living up to its standards, but as especially now as we move forward and our politicians are showing their ass every single day, like it's almost like they're stripping a lot of the work that we've put in that we ain't even got to where we need to be, but there are a lot of things that the people before us worked so hard to do, and they have already undone it. Like in these last few years,
Mhm.
they just undid it. And I think that's just so crazy.
And it's sad that it's being celebrated as that's happening, right? I mean,
Mhm.
like it's seen as a virtue in this country to work yourself to death. You're a hard worker, so it doesn't
Sigma
matter
grind
that.
set.
Yeah, exactly. You're every single day you're working for a job that you hate. You don't make enough money, and when you come home, you don't have you don't have any additional support.
You don't spend
Healthcare is
time with your
shit expensive.
family. You
Yeah, I
don't know
can't.
your family. The school knows your family more than you do.
Right.
You got to work
Yeah.
so much that, and I ain't even got kids, but this ain't the type of mom I want to be in the future. Like where I have to, like my mom had to do. I have to come home, kiss you in the or kiss you to go to school, kiss you goodbye, and then have this long work day. Come back home, kiss you goodnight. That's the only time spent with your kids for most people in America. I think that is just so wild, and for them to say that you're being lazy if you think that you can live any other life. Like if you think that you can do anything else, you're just a lazy person. That's not the American way. You got to come here and what is it? Look, get up by your bootstraps and all of this.
Mhm.
All of that mess. Like you walk on the burning sands for literally mediocre. Work at a damn corporate job for 25 plus years for you to get any tenure where you can at least rack up where you can take a family vacation. That is just that's
And
toxic.
the people that often preach that shit are ones that were born into wealth and have no fucking idea what it's
Yep.
actually like for most people.
Yep.
It's yeah, no. So, I mean, it's a good thing your country sucks and Canada's perfect. So we got no problems here. So it's fine.
I hear Canada is so great. There's like a trend on TikTok right now, and I don't know if this is true. I haven't been to Canada yet. There's a trend on TikTok right now that's saying that Canada, where a lot of like Generation Z, and I'll say like later millennials, they're all complaining that housing, the like
Oh, our
grocery,
housing crisis
It's the
is
worst
all of
here.
it. They're saying
It's
like
the
it's
worst
so
here.
expensive.
yeah,
So
I have
is
actually, I
it?
have I have a graph nearby. Let me find
insane.
it.
Do you have the one that compares Japan, the US, and the UK?
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to
shows you like unaffordability in Canada. It's just like it's off the
Yeah, I
charts
was
right
prepping
now.
Really?
a.
I never knew that.
Let
I
me get
wouldn't
it.
have
Oh
thought
yeah.
that.
It exploded really badly in like the last couple of years, but it's just like there's so many things contributing to the problem. And I'm not just
There it
talking
is.
about homelessness. We're talking about that there's just an inability for anyone, even in the middle class, to afford anything right now because you need a minimum down payment of like $200,000 to be able to afford a fucking condo. A 2-bedroom condo in Vancouver right now is like $1.3 million. Like with that for a condo, not for a house, not for a property, not for anything, for a fucking condominium with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, it's like 1.3 million fucking dollars. And
Yeah.
so to buy
So
anything, you better have $250,000, $300,000 in a bank account somewhere just waiting. It's fucked. It's like, it's so
Not y'all
perverse.
having nine problems too. I did not know.
Dang.
So here's Canada. Just
I don't think I've ever met somebody who has $250,000 just liquid cash. Like I've never like it's like a unicorn
madness.
to me.
It's madness. And like I'm especially mad about this because like I'm old in relativity to the rest of you, and I've been trying to like buy a place, and I'm still struggling because it's like there's insurance you can buy, you can get provisions, there's like first time homeowners like bursaries, but even then when you total everything up, you have to have been collectively putting money away for years and years and years. You can have like, you know, double couples with double salaries that are really, really good, and even then no one has $200,000 just like lying around, just like
so sad. How about
whenever.
How about like healthcare? Because I know for me, I had to, because I had like surgeries and like cysts and all those other things I had to get removed. I knew that I needed to get like healthcare. At the time I was working for, we did Like It or Not at another place, and we were doing it in the studio. And I remember having the most pain, like it was the worst pain while I was doing the show. And I went to the hospital, and they were like, they immediately rushed me in. They sent me a bill, and I had to go to work the next day because the people were like, you got to get on air. We don't care. We don't care, whatever. Yeah. And then the bill was crazy. The bill that I had was crazy. So I thought about, okay, I need to get something that makes sense for me as I'm getting older, because I have to go and get checked up like way more than somebody else because of this and stuff like that, and surgery. So when I thought about, okay, the next job I have, I need something for healthcare. I need what like good benefits. So how's like healthcare like in Canada? Is that like, do you get healthcare with jobs?
Yeah, or Toronto. I mean, BC, because it's by province. His is going to be different than mine, but probably not by a lot.
I mean, my experience has honestly been largely great. Like there's definitely issues. There's definitely issues that have come up now. Like we have a conservative provincial government right now that is trying to privatize, or at least not privatize necessarily, but give at least private options. That is helping to drain the public system for certain procedures. So that isn't helping.
That's scary.
He's underpaying nurses, which is also leading to nurses leaving the province and going elsewhere. So there's shortages when it comes to that kind of thing. But like, so when it comes to like the emergency room, I'm not sure how it is in the U.S. I'm sure it's a pain there as well. But if you have to go to the emergency room, you got to wait. Then again, you don't have to pay for anything, right? So like you get treated eventually. You go home. It costs
the emergency room is our basically primary care physician. Because if you don't have insurance, thanks to EMTALA, which was passed by Reagan, you go to the emergency room. That was kind of,
and you get that bill still.
Oh,
like they gonna bill you. Don't worry, they gonna see you, but they gonna bill you. You are literally a college student, don't know nothing about finances. You got pain, you ain't near your mama, you ain't near your daddy. You got to go somewhere, right? To make sure you ain't pregnant. No, but you got to go somewhere. And then you get there, and they're like, "Yeah, nothing's wrong with you. Take this," and then you're like, okay, now you get a bill you never seen an amount this much
please.
For like for like I don't know where am I gonna get this money? And now that's on your credit. You know, credit makes like credit. Everything here goes by credit. Now you can't get a house, you can't get a car, you can't do nothing because you had the audacity to go to school, and then you had the audacity to go try to take care of yourself.
Yeah, see, we don't have that problem. I mean, I've never. The most I've paid for any healthcare related thing has been like for medication, and it's never been over $100.
Like what a life!
I couldn't imagine.
At the same time, understand like we do pay more in taxes, but in my opinion, it's worth it. We pay more. We pay less in taxes than you do to private insurance, so we're still it's net savings.
My health insurance is the cheapest option that I can get on the Obamacare exchanges. And it's $800 a month for me and my husband, and it covers the bare minimum. But like, I imagine having an extra $800 per month, like all the shit that I could buy, or how much money I could save. And this is true for every single American. Like I didn't have insurance for basically most of my life until Obamacare made it so that way you could stay on your family's plan until you're 26. But even then, I ended up losing the insurance that I had because I found out that the insurance that I was paying for was just junk insurance, and it didn't really cover a lot. Like it covered my primary care physician, but it was junk insurance. But I had just gotten promoted at my job, so I was hoping to get insurance, but I found out you had to pay for that, and it was very expensive, and it didn't cover everything. And like the care that I needed, it made more sense to just pay out of pocket because, for example, like dental. I mean, am I going to pay like, I don't know how much, a few, I don't know what it is for dental in general because I've never paid for it. But like I can just spend $3,000 every 5 to 10 years if I need like a root canal or just get the tooth pulled, which is what I did for like one of my molars. Or I could pay like every single month and have it just not be worthwhile, you know? And I need care for glasses. Am I going to spend $100 per month or just like wait every 5 years and then just save my money and spend $1,000? But like it just, none of it makes sense. And it's all so expensive.
Yeah. And that is the reality for like healthcare, Americans and healthcare. It's crazy. When I moved to New York right after college, essentially I was homeless, but I was in a room with 2 little girls. That's how I was like saving my coins, and a dog that peed in front of the bed. But that's neither here or there. I had to put in that I was homeless in order for me to get some kind of healthcare in New York. In New York City, and I went to a dentist. Still got a scar on my lip. It was a hood dentist, like some man that he accidentally drilled my lip.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was bleeding for a while. And I'm just like, here's my insurance. This is the free insurance. This is what it gets me. And then I had a gynecologist that was saying like sexual things to me. I said, see, this is what gets here goes my, and it was a man. This is what it was.
Oh my God.
This is what it was. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Like, you think, okay, I'm like, okay, at least I got something, and this is what you get. And here we have Ted Cruz making a big deal, doing a full scene, okay,
Good
full
callback.
movie, theatrics on beer.
Yeah. That reminds me. So there's student loan payments are going to resume soon, but because our healthcare system,
aren't they postponing it for 2000, like the rest of 2023, or is that not happening?
Not according to the emails that I received.
Yeah, they're emailing me, calling me. They're probably gonna call tonight.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know that Rebecca's probably feeling the same existential dread that I'm feeling as well with those emails. Whenever I see Nelnet, I'm like, I don't want to look.
Navient won't leave me alone. They're like, hey, hey, it's coming up. Hey, what's going on? Hey,
but
we have
what's
plans.
so funny is that like I actually, when you get in, so I was in a PhD program for like a year. I ended up leaving to do humanist report. But anyways, you don't need student loans technically because you work for the university and they pay for your tuition essentially. I mean, cost of living is not covered, so you're still kind of fucked. But I took out a student loan so I could go to the dentist. That's how fucked up our country is.
See, no, it's okay. So my situation that we talked about, how the creditors came after me. I took out that credit card, right, when I was in college to get my brother through school, like to get him, because I mean, my parents are immigrants. They couldn't afford, yet student loans were saying we made too much, which is ridiculous because we didn't even make enough to live. So like I took out, not knowing anything about nothing, right? As a young girl, I think I was like 19, 20. And my little brother wanted to go to FAM. He wanted to go to FAMU, but he wanted to go to school in Tallahassee. And I told him, my parents were like, he's going to be on yours because we can't afford it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. Those people, oh my God, they pray. Those Bank of America, those people, they will go to the campus and like look for people. They're like, hey, do you need something? And I'm like, wow, this is coming at the right time for me. My brother needs to get to school. Wow,
what a convenience.
God, like this is great. This is so great. It took me less than 24 hours to get that credit card. I signed him up for his first semester, and and here we are. And they went and sieged my money, all kinds of stuff, like I'm some kind of criminal. But this is what we got to do to make it. You think you're doing something okay? You got to literally rob Peter to pay Paul, and people are just playing in our face every day. Our politicians are playing in our face every day. We're gonna have to pay back these loans in blood, because I had the audacity to do something that my parents came from another country and were like, "Listen, girl, you going to school? We couldn't go to school, so you gonna go to school." And I did that, and now look at like they're like, no, we're gonna get that money in blood. And you signed over your life to us at 17. I mean, too bad.
That's the entire reason, like you were saying, that you see people like Ted Cruz doing this beer shit, because like this is to distract everyone from just grotesque corporate profits. If you actually take a look at how much corporate profits, especially like, I'm not just talking making more money, I'm talking about like their entire fucking bottom lines have been increasing, their profit margins have been increasing post-COVID. They're just printing cash, whether it be like in the food industry, in the service industry, in the pharmaceutical industry. All these people are making obscene amounts of money. So yeah, let's distract everybody with a little fucking beer, right? They're taking your beer away. You gotta watch out.
Yeah,
It sucks.
And the prices are going up across the board, just on everything. Like the little things that we have to distract ourselves, like Netflix and PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, they're all raising the price. It's like, goddamn, what in the fuck? Like when you start to take away these distractions from us, though, that's when you start to see real social unrest, because as long as we have Netflix and we have things to distract ourselves, then everything is copacetic.
For all of these things, knowing we in debt. Listen, Netflix, $19.99. You don't even know when it's coming out. Why do I have any of these things? Like I can't even afford it, but it's one of those things. It's like, man, I can't pay my bills, but I'm gonna watch me some good shows. Okay. You just like, we gotta live. We gotta live.
You have to have some enjoyment in your life.
You have to know, like, I'm not gonna. It can make you really depressed, or you figure it out. Like, if I'm gonna have to live paycheck to paycheck, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna romanticize something in my life, or I'm gonna be beating myself up every day, like just miserable. Be miserable, or figure out something to do with yourself and fight for the cause in the same way, or something like. But just realize, like, I know that when I have children, I want to know that the people that I'm voting for, and I want to know that these people have us in mind, our future kids, or if we don't want kids, they have us in mind so that their communities can be fed. Like everybody, housing doesn't have to be such a crisis where we're paying mortgage prices in apartments. Right. And that's like, a lot of us can't buy houses. We can't do all of this. It's not that we don't want to. It's not that we probably don't want to have families. We just can't afford to. We can't. So
I gotta say,
that's the reality.
That's true.
If I lived in the US, I would not have had a child. Like I don't even know how people afford to have children. Like you
gotta pay.
I don't know either.
If you don't have insurance.
How am I gonna have this baby at the house? Because I can't afford to go do it at the hospital. It's crazy.
I got no idea how it's done. No clue. Let alone have two of them. What kind of insane, dumb motherfucker would
It hasn't stopped my siblings.
You never sleep. You're always working, so I'm sure you found a way.
Yeah, it's called always working.
Yeah.
I was wondering on the healthcare thing. So one of the other benefits I often discuss is that I never have to think about healthcare, in the sense that I don't have insurance company or anything. Have you had to like negotiate or like talk to your insurance company? Like, have you had discussions where you've had to like fight for things to be covered? Like, is that a thing you've had to go through?
That's a normal thing. Yeah.
That is.
That's like built into it.
About that experience.
Like it's not will you? It's like how long will you have to deal with it?
And can I do a payment plan? I know I have another surgery coming up. So can I, if I put this on this credit card, and if I go ahead and I get paid on this day, can you guys go and deduct it on this day? But my other surgery is coming up, so can we just push that out a little bit? They'll be like, well, sweetie, we're not going to be able to do that procedure. Now, if your life, you about to die. We're not going to be able to do that procedure unless then that you and then when the bill comes, you also can try calling in. They already got you in collections, because medical, they got collections all over the place. Yeah. So they'll call you, they'll send you all kinds of mail. They'll send you emails, and you can try to negotiate something out with the creditor, but usually they want their money. They're going to try to give you some kind of settlement, but most times you can't even afford the settlement. So it's back to getting those calls. This is true life, like for an average American. So this is I got a job, and life has hit me hard in this last month, but still you gotta figure out how to make things work. Or I've seen people really crash and just give in. When I was living in New York, I saw so many people that I went to school with just go and be homeless, just live outside because they can't afford to live anywhere. Because it was easier just to say, man, F it. It is what it is. Like,
Yeah,
and the opposite of that, I'm looking at an article here that says corporate windfall profits surge to $1 trillion a year as working people suffer. An analysis released Thursday shows 722 of the world's top corporations made a combined windfall profit of $1 trillion per year in 2021 and 2022 as people across the planet struggle to meet basic needs.
Yeah, and that happens, and Republicans pretend like the number one problem with corporations is that they're too woke or there's these diversity programs. When it's like,
right,
if you think that is if that's your number one critique about corporations, you are living in an entirely different life than the average person.
Mike, did you see they're fighting on the behalf of the pharmaceutical industry right now? Like the pharmaceutical industry for the first time is going to be negotiating with Medicaid for like 10 medications. And they're just like, if you do this, like you won't be able to discover any new drugs. That's how it works. Trust us, please. Look out. And like, that's not how this works at all, motherfuckers. Y'all are lying.